Welcome, Taurus, to your Vernal Equinox 3 month deep dive forecast for the Ascendant, the Sun, or the Moon. Each year, when we have the Vernal Equinox, it ushers in a new astrological year, but also Cardinal Quadrant 1, because the Western tropical calendar is divided into 4 seasons. This 13-week period takes us through till the Cancer solstice on the 21st of July. I'm going to give you an understanding of what you can expect through that period in terms of your relationships, finance, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. So on the screen, Taurus, is your event chart from a specific Taurus viewpoint. And there's the sun just into the sign of Aries. Now, the sun loves being in Aries, it's exalted there, but it's also meeting Neptune, the planet of dreams, but also illusion, for the first time for 150 years. So that's unique. We also have Saturn, the planet which is very much to do with structure, but can be linked to karma, is in that part of your scope. But for you, this is the 12th house. So although the sun in Aries is very much about initiation, injecting extra energy because the fire element into whatever we're doing, for you, it's probably going to be directed at a more psychological level, a more inward one, or much more to do with perhaps understanding some of what's happened over the last 11 months, preparing for when the sun moves into your sign in 4 weeks, and that's your personal new year. We also need to be mindful that recently we've had such a cluster of energy in the most friendly and social part of your situation, and therefore there is a little bit of a paradox. Also, Mercury has been a retrograde, and since the 26th of February, and in a zodiac sign where it does struggle. So if there has been some cross wires recently around friendships, social meetups, or even your thinking about your long-term plan, it wouldn't be a surprise. The good news is that Mercury's going direct later today, which is pleasing. And also Mars, the planet of thrust, which is the ruler of the sign of Aries, is in a glorious link with Jupiter, the planet of fortune, which for you is in your third house of quick communications. So there are still going to be some very progressive relationships for you over this next 13 weeks, but they really need to feel right. To be honest, Taurus, I think you're going to discover some fair weather friends during this period, and you're going to shake them out of your situation. But it might not always be comfortable to discover just who. It might not necessarily be in your absolute friendship circle of the people you've known for a long time. It could be people you've been networking with professionally. It may be people that you've got to know quite recently. They're not all going to innately let you down. I think you're going to become much more aware of the energetic exchange between you and whether it really works for you or not. Because you have not just the sun in the 12th house, which is very tender, can be about healing, can be very much about personal development and growth, can be about unlocking what our true potential is. But Saturn there is asking you to work hard, but can create limitation. Neptune can create a lot of imagination. It can certainly, if you're a healer or a psychic, amplify your talents over the next 13 weeks. And with Venus and the Moon together in a conjunction, you may even actually encounter somebody new that you find very, very hard to resist. They could be hugely charming, but not necessarily totally available. Or perhaps it's you who's not totally available. So we have two distinct strands. That part of your situation, which has been very interactive of late, very busy, and can continue to be. And with the right people, those alliances can grow as long as you feel you can truly be yourself. And that includes perhaps even being a little bit vulnerable. But the people you don't really feel you can just relax and be yourself, those are the relationships which you need to be particularly mindful of. That's your instinct telling you what's not quite right. and your instinct is going to be heightened with these energies. But the key for all of us is that how many times have we gone into a situation where we're not quite sure? There's that little voice in the back of our mind, but our logic tells us, look, this is a great way to earn a new living. I really fancy this person, but we're not really tuning into that inner voice. So that's what you're being asked to do. You do still have Uranus in your zodiac sign for now. It's going to be moving in the interim at the 26th of April into your second house, bringing fresh opportunities to use your resources in the following 7 years. But Uranus is still in touch with the sun in a very positive way. So if you are collaborating with people who are big thinkers, very original in their approach, as long as it feels right. The sign of Aries is very much about identity as well as physical energy. And if you feel that your identity needs to evolve in some ways, but you're not quite sure how to do it, it would be a very good phase, to be honest, to have some counseling, to watch some videos, to seek support from a life coach, anything which gives you a more profound understanding of what makes you tick and others tick at that much more psychological level is going to be very valuable. So, just to recap for you, Taurus, your next 3 months. As far as work's concerned, Pluto's still pushing you to evolve, but it is in a very strong link with Saturn. Don't be surprised if past skills, knowledge, or contacts are going to inform your progress professionally over the next 3 months. As far as relationships are concerned, you could develop quite a crush on someone over the next 13 weeks, but it may be that it's not necessarily a clandestine relationship, although that's possible, but one you may want to keep a little bit confidential for now. It's also possible, if you're not sure in a romantic relationship, that you're going to go through a deep period of consideration. But that's been going on since your ruler Venus moved into Aries anyway, and you had that real crunch point when Venus applied to Saturn. And therefore, I think if you have already been thinking carefully about what to do, the sun moving into this area is going to make you much more sensitive. And if someone isn't a very nurturing or caring person, not very emotionally evolved, you're going to become much more conscious of that if that's what you're really heading towards in your situation. But if you have got those contacts and alliances which are really positive, that link between Mars, the ruler of Aries, and Jupiter could be very lucky for you. So whether it is about loot, whether it is about romance, whether it is about your energy, or it is about work, listening to your sixth sense is the key. But still being positive and optimistic is important with Mercury going direct. It's also going to come out of its shadow on the 9th of April, but it will then, in the middle of April, dive into a psychological part of your chart, into Aries. So just be conscious that over these next months, there is some deep work to do. If you're up for the challenge, what's going to happen when we get to the Cancer solstice is you're actually going to start gaining traction at a huge rate of knots in the following 3 months from then. So the more preparatory work you do now, which releases what doesn't work for you, where you don't feel that sense of energetic exchange that's uplifting and bubbly and positive, the more you release things now, the more availability it's going to give you over those future months. If you've yet to watch your Pisces new moon deep dive video, a 1 month forecast, please see the link for that. If you've yet to watch your Jupiter direct video, please click on that link. You can sign up for your free daily horoscope to be fired to your device each morning. See the link below. Get that celestial pit stop with your drink in the morning and just give you that moment of reflection. I've written them for years. Be great to have your company. Also, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. You can also order your personal horoscopes. They're great value, very accurate, and totally unique for each person. But if you're really emerging into astrology, it can help you to understand the patterns that are played out in your life so far, but the forecast where to time your moves. And there's 50% off at the checkout. Please apply Astro 26 to Natal or Draco 26 to Draconic if you're really interested in that soul karmic part of astrology. Thank you so much for joining me, Taurus. All the best. Take care and goodbye.